Thursday, high tomorrow 79 to 83, then partly sunny on Friday with a high of 83 to 86. Record-breaking high temperatures on Saturday with partly sunny skies and a high of 86 to 89. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Holly Holdren.
The Ocala Golf Club, one of Ocala's premier golf courses, from its pristine 18-hole course layout to its amazing pro shop. Jason Linhart and the staff at Ocala Golf offer everything that you need for your golf outing. That's the Ocala Golf Club. Experience country club style golf at municipal prices. You won't go wrong with the Ocala Golf Club. Call them for a tee time today, 352-401-6917.
This is Ocala Talks with Tom Schmidt, bringing stories that are important to our community in and around Ocala. Plus, of course, a splash of sports as well. Now, here's your host, Tom.
Welcome back to hour number 3 of Ocala Talks on a Wednesday. Sun high in the sky, blue skies as far as the eye can see. It's great that we live in Marion County, Florida. You're listening to Ocala Talks, coming to you live from the palatial studios of WOCA Radio, just outside of the food court entrance to the Paddock Mall in the Brick City Beautiful, Ocala, Florida. In studio now, Philip and Adam from Ocala Magazine are here, but they brought some folks with them. Philip, why don't you explain to us just who you have with us? Let me make sure everybody's microphones are turned on so everybody can be heard. Philip, explain who you have and how the connection was made.
Yeah, well, I went out and we've hired some new salespeople to come into the magazine, and we've hired Adam, who came in from Tampa, who is kind of driving the force under our existing sales force that we had. And the first order of business he had for Ocala Magazine was we identified all the people that we wanted to, and then he went on to social media and Facebook and made a post with regards to that. And then from that, and I'll let him get into exactly what transpired on that, we were able to meet Joy from his Compassions and set up a meeting with that. So, Adam said, hey, I got my first appointment, and we went out there, and I believe it was on a Thursday, and this food bank that they offer there is on Tuesdays and Thursdays that they give away. And last year it was over 13.5 million pounds, which equates to about 10,159 meals. Their grow rate is at like 3 to 1. So in 1 month they were doing 30,000 pounds, and they went in 3 months to 100,000, and then they went to 1 million. And that is free to the community, not only for Marion County, Levia, Citra, and other markets in this regional draw. Adam, why don't you tell us how you actually did find them? I know it was through Facebook.
Yeah, so I met Joy on Facebook. I made a post about looking for businesses and business owners who are shakers and movers in the community that are making a difference. She reached out to me. I immediately got back to her. We got on the phone, scheduled a time to go out and check it out, and there was a line at least a half mile long outside of that food bank, and me and Philip were just so blown away. And we started asking people, hey, are you aware of his Compassions? And no one knew about it. And we're like, this has to change. People have to know about this. So
absolutely,
I appreciate Joy for bringing this introduction and bringing us in.
I will tell you, I've lived in Marion County 14 years. I work with Carla Grimsley close at Interfaith Emergency Services. Father Pat and Brothers Keepers I know well. The first time I heard of his Compassion was yesterday when I got an email saying they were coming on the radio.
And you know what? And even Joe, and we want to thank Joe for allowing us to come on the radio today. And we have a new relationship with his Compassions and the board, and we've got multiple board members here, and we'll get into that. And also Joy, who is one of the people that spearheaded over there. Everyone's a volunteer over there, but we've got a new relationship between his Compassions and Ocala Magazine and our affiliates. And we're in the process of setting up, other relationships for them like this and getting them out on the radio, because, everyone needs to know about it, and people need to reach in their pockets and donate to this, because everything is for free, and there's not a requirement that you have to make under $10,000 a year, or you have to live in this type of thing, or make that to come and get this poundage.
With COVID putting everybody out of work,
Yeah.
People who were making $60,000-$70,000 a year all of a sudden needed food.
Right.
Let's talk now. I just saw the logo and I go, that logo. I see that logo a lot when it's got near my house somewhere, and then I look at the address. Yeah, it's about half a mile from my house.
Don't you see the cars lining down the road?
I see the logo and everything because it's Old Jacksonville Road. I live at 326 in Old Jacksonville Road. Y'all are just north of that. Are you affiliated with the church that's right there?
No, there's no longer a church there.
The Living Way was where Living Water was, right?
We're in that. No, it was Bread of Life.
Bread
Church.
of Life, that's what it was. Bread of Life.
They're no longer there. We occupy that property.
Yeah, that's the property y'all are at now. Is where
That's
Bread of
correct.
Life was on Old Jacksonville Road.
That's correct.
Just north of the 326 Old Jacksonville Road interchange.
That's correct. And it's a shopping center there, and, there's needs there for concrete to complete. They're unloading, 26 pallets, 46 pallets of food. All this food is fresh food. It's all healthy food. It's green-wise. It's chicken breast. It's salmon. It's steaks and chops and water and, every other thing that you could imagine. This is not expired food or things that are on the process of expiring. Do you have the camera? Do you have the camera, though? Because I just want to show this one picture, if you can put that in the camera. This is every Tuesday and every Thursday there. You can see the cars just lining up.
Yeah,
down
the
road.
line. And because of what y'all do, how important is volunteers to you guys?
Super important. That is how we do everything.
Yep, that's paramount.
Everything.
And when you say paramount, without volunteers, you would not be able to function.
We would not be able to function. We have probably 30 to 35 volunteers that we start sometimes at 2:30 in the morning unloading trucks, and then sometimes our trucks leave to go out and pick up deliveries at 2:30 in the morning. And just imagine these people coming in at 2:30 and working till 12 o'clock noon. And we have no paid people. They all work free. They all there for one thing, and that's to feed the people of Marion County. That's our goal.
And when Philip said when he started that you've had 13,193,835 pounds of food
That was
in Marion
last
County
year.
in 2020.
That's correct.
To put that in perspective so people know,
Well,
that's 6,500 tons of food.
But put it in perspective, because there's a matrix that converts that into how many meals, and that's 10,159,000 actual meals to the people.
Think about this. You helped fund 81 agencies in our county.
that's correct.
86
correct.
now.
86 now.
Yes.
But that was in 2020, 81.
Yes.
So, and you were able to serve 300 to 400 families weekly?
That's
That was
just
in
at our
2020.
that's just at our distribution.
Right,
on
that's just
50
at
and
your
60.
facility, right.
Yeah.
That's
There's
right.
Now,
like,
let me give you some numbers for this year so far. Our year to date, we have given out 3.676 million pounds of food. And we have 11 more trucks coming in before the end of this week. So we will be over 4 million by the end of February.
How many volunteer hours does it take to run your operation?
We,
15,000.
15,000.
15,000 hours of
15,000.
volunteers.
Absolutely.
That was in
It's like it's like a military operation. I mean, it's so or choreographed, if you will.
What we have three board members here. What was the moving force behind y'all getting involved with this? What was it that made it passionate to you that you saw a need and you got involved to work?
I've been involved since probably the year 2010.
The economic
originally-
downturn when we were in a mess
Yeah.
economically.
Originally started out known as Operation Compasion. It was operating out of the Living Waters Church over on 301, 441, and grew to a point over there where it was necessary to move to a new facility. And then we changed it to His Compassion, and it's got its own 501c3 and is supported by the Living Waters Church, but is not directly under it. We have our own 501c3.
You guys, when you were at Living Waters, you were in the building to the left when you turned in.
That's
because that
correct.
was my voting precinct.
That's
And
right.
So you were at the building to the left, and you would I always wondered, why are there 100 people standing in line out there
Yeah, we
at
outgrew that
7:30 in the
facility.
morning when I'm going to vote? And it was because you guys were giving them food
That's
and
correct.
helping them survive in Marion County.
And we just outgrew that facility and were able to acquire this property that was formerly known as the Bread of Life Church over on Old Jacksonville Road, and we've been there now about 4 years.
Pastor Tommy used to work at that church.
That's
that
right.
church.
Yeah, I knew
I
Pastor
coached football
Tommy.
with Tommy. We coached Pop Warner football together.
Yep, yep.
So how the new facility? How long have y'all been in the new facility?
About 4 years.
About 4
We've
years.
been there 4 years. We only occupy probably 1/3 of the facility because that portion is finished as far as the flooring and everything. The balance of it, we need to pour concrete in order to occupy that. Right now, we're ready to pour 80 yards of concrete if we could just to get the money to pour the concrete so we can receive more food to help people.
And that brings up a good point.
Yeah.
You operate completely off donations from the public. You
100%.
You don't have any government grants or anything. You
Nothing
operate
like that.
from
That's what makes
the
it
general
so
public.
amazing. I mean, it's
We need some cement
If
company
you
to
were
step
running,
up.
if you were
Yeah.
running this as a business, your P&L would look horrible.
If I was running this as a business, I would close it. Is what you're saying. But you
well,
can't.
we're going to
because-
make sure that they don't close because what I've seen over there is it's better than anything I've ever seen charity-wise in my whole career.
And because you have such a large place, you can bring in big trucks and stuff.
do.
Where I love Carla and her Operation Interfaith, but it's very hard for her to get large donation trucks
Right.
in and out because of just where the physical incapabilities of where it's located.
Yeah, the proximity and
Right, it's terrible. But where you guys are, and you, then 86 partners you give food
Yes.
to now.
That's correct.
Yes, on a weekly basis.
I didn't even know there was 86 partners to give. That there was a need
Wow.
to have 86 partners.
It's in Marion County, Alachua County, Levy County, Citrus County, Lake County, Sumter County, all the counties around. Food pantries.
That's a
and churches.
million. That area, Alachua County, Levy, Summerfield. No, you're talking about close to 1 million people.
more. It's actually more. We're just doing a media study on that. The 10-county regional draw is actually over 3.4 million people. It's a tremendous, tremendous what's happening.
And we have a lot of remote distributions too, like the distribution we do. We do it across the board at different areas so that people have better access to the food. We have 3 going on right now. We have one at the YMCA here in town right now, and we have one at the Cowboy Church out in Ocala today, and one at Kingdom Revival on Silver Springs Boulevard today. That we do them, people can come and get food just like they do at our place, but elsewhere.
And can you give them your website so they can see the schedule of
Yes.
that?
Our website is hiscompassionflorida.org, and there's a calendar of events on there that you can go out and see anytime we're doing a distribution. It's on that calendar.
And also they have a separate one for donations. And, we are avidly looking for a cement company. I'm willing to give anyone that helps with the cement company or the donation of these 8,000 yards or how much?
No, 80
yards.
80 yards
80
of
yards.
concrete. they
I would
need.
give them
8,000 yards.
No.
Now Philip's talking.
But I would give them
80
dollar
yards.
to dollar for free advertising, so they wouldn't be really giving it for free and to sponsor that, because it's imperative that they get this concrete to complete it so they can receive more food to give more food away.
Exactly.
That's right.
I'm looking at these volunteer opportunities. Unload and load trucks. So somebody with a strong back, a good work ethic, and the time, you need that.
Absolutely.
Sort food. You need somebody that can read pretty good to make sure they're putting things in the right place. Fill boxes with food. Greet families. Discuss faith and pray with people. Load cars. Paperwork. Update website and Facebook page. Call teams for follow-up with clients. You have a lot of opportunities here for people to volunteer.
And they don't have to be physically fit to come in and do it. We have some of the things you can do from home, like being on the prayer team and calling people in that. They can actually do that from home. I have women that are on our prayer teams that are prayer warriors for the people that come, and they do it from their house. So you can have any type. Sorting, some of the people can come, they come and they sit and sort beans and rice and other foods that it's not hard work to do.
When you look at it too, people that want to volunteer, a lot of people motivates them. Everyone has different motivations, but a lot of people motivates them if you're helping people and changing people's lives. They are doing that beyond your wildest dreams. If you see these families, and keep in mind these cars are not old cars. These are, you saw a Mercedes and you saw a BMW and you saw a new truck and you saw this because everybody's hurting due to this pandemic and what we're in this time that we're in. And this has been going on way before the pandemic. So it's just a blessing what they're doing.
The interesting thing about volunteers, at least in our organization, is that the average volunteer is not 20 years old or 40 years old or 60 years old. They're retired.
Well, I found with the relationship I have with a lot of different food banks around and the Marion Literacy Council and stuff like that most of your volunteers are the 65 and older crowd, which right now, some of them are staying home because they're worried about the impacts of
afraid
COVID.
to go out.
So you're
True.
losing your core base of volunteers just because they're concerned about going out in general because they're concerned about their health.
Yeah.
And you know, a lot of our volunteers come to us the first time they come to get food, and they're so impressed with what they see and the way they're treated, they want to come back and help. That's how we get a lot of our volunteers.
That's awesome.
I think you bring up a very good point too that a lot of people forget. A lot of people think when they think about food distribution, they think the single mom with 3 kids that's working but she can't make ends meet. I don't think a lot of times you think about the man and woman that are 68, 69 years old that their Social Security doesn't cover their cost or their needs and everything. They need the food too, and that you see a lot of those people, and then they come back as volunteers.
Well, and now a lot of people we get are the average American families that, because of everything that's going on economically, they can't afford to pay the mortgage and buy food.
Yeah,
So
you
we're
gotta have
being
either a
able-
roof over your head or eat.
So we're being able to help them eat so that they can keep the roof over their head.
Especially with the large group of the hospitality and restaurant and bar workers that we're so used to getting money. And I worked in the industry for a very long time. And people say, well, they should have planned better. It's when you get a certain amount of money on a daily basis, you plan for that money on a daily basis.
Right.
Just like if you're a teacher, you get a check once a month. You plan your budget around once a month.
Yeah.
And so for somebody to step in and say, canceled, closed,
Right.
and you take how their budget is, which their budget is daily money, people can hit hard times really quick.
Right.
Absolutely, and those people, people said they work check to check. A lot of them were working dollar to dollar. They
Yeah,
weren't even,
exactly.
So and they just were closed down.
Well, we also in this area have a lot of what they call food deserts because people can't live close to good, healthy, nutritious food. And so we are able to provide that to a lot of the areas. We have 19 food desert areas within our area here, and we are providing good, nutritious, healthy food to those areas so people have access to healthy food.
I bet you guys picked up a lot of the slack when the schools just closed.
Yes.
In March
we
of
did.
last year, the schools closed. These were schools, parents, some single home parents, some parents, the poverty level parents, they expect the free breakfast at school, the free lunch at school.
That's exactly
that they had to
right.
prepare one meal at home, dinner, because the kids were getting breakfast and lunch. And then when the schools closed, now all of a sudden the kids are, the baby birds are in the nest going, I
And you had
need
to
food
pay
at
for
breakfast.
childcare, and you had to
Of course.
homeschool, and I mean, it was,
And speaking of the schools, now that the schools are open, we have several schools that have set up mini food pantries at the school that we provide food to, and we work with them.
More so than the backpacks that they used to do.
Well, they still
they're
do that, but-
right now they're doing actually mini food pantries at the school.
Absolutely. And they provide to those also. It's just such a long list. It's so multifaceted, the different avenues that they provide. Like you said, 86 different agencies. It's hard to fathom that, they're even doing that. And, I just want to mention, someone that we met there when we met with the board. And, Wes Heron is his name. And he's their CEO. And, he's not here today because he doesn't want to, get any recognition. But, this guy is like the general. This is a military operation that happens on a daily basis. Like he told you, it starts at 2:30, at 4:30, and they're going. But, this guy is over there driving this bus so completely in these multiple regions and multiple counties. And, we were just so impressed with him and the board and Joy and the volunteers and everyone that they're doing. They're going in the magazine, and they'll be in the magazine for 12 months. They will be on the cover of the magazine. We will be coming and letting the listeners and the readership and everyone know that we're going to be raising funds to help support them, not only in our market of Ocala, but anywhere and everywhere that the radio may reach or the magazine may reach.
This is probably, and I've served on a couple boards, and the boards I served on, I didn't go into the hand-on operation of the 501(c) that I was actually on the board for.
Right.
I have a feeling you guys are there at 2:30, 3:30 in the morning working right alongside everybody else, even though you're board members.
Yeah, we're there occasionally that time, but we really got to give all the credit to the volunteers that get up and do the hard work. You know, I tell them many times that they kind of look up to the board to give them guidance, but, you know, we sit in an air-conditioned room and make decisions. When they're out there at 2:30 in the pouring down rain, unloading trucks and things of that nature, so to them goes all the credit.
No matter what the weather.
That's
No matter
another
what
thing.
the
It's,
weather
it's
is.
rain or shine.
People still need to eat.
It's-
People still need to eat.
That's right.
You know, I think there's one thing, and you guys are doing a great job, but I have to, because we brushed over it real quick. Adam, kudos to you for reaching out, creating this partnership, and bringing to light something that I'll be honest with you, I knew the logo. I know you're right down from my house. Had no idea what they did.
Same
until
with
they
me,
brought
you
it
know,
here
and
to
I
the
mean,
camera.
here I am. I'm publisher of a magazine here. You know, it's a 40-year-old magazine. I've been at it for three and a half years, and he comes from out of town to work for me and work with me, and in a week's time, he puts me onto these people. When I went out there, I mean, it's like, you know, I mean, I've changed a lot of my focus to focus on them because my whole thing with the magazine is charities helping people directly to the people. This is so directly to the people. It's
direct.
unbelievable.
By the way, this is the epitome of directly to
Right.
people.
Yeah,
I mean,
it is the
you
mecca
look up-
of that.
You look direct to people and look it up in the dictionary. It says see photo, and it's this group.
Absolutely.
It's this group.
And you know, the thing is, I talked to a few volunteers there, and I said, well, you know, do they have to have financial with this? And they said, no, there's no financial. But you know, that person that may have been making 100 that's making 50,000 a year, they want that person to come get that food. Okay, some of them people feel guilty taking that food, but then they could spend that on their mortgage, like Joy said, or dental or orthodontics for the
Yeah,
kids,
they
or
gotta
school,
get that out of their head,
or
you know?
something else. So it's not limited for just the lower end. It's really for humanity. It's for human beings.
This pandemic has caused it to where unless you're uber wealthy, you've been impacted financially by this crisis.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm by no means in the need of, if I ever was, I'm glad a place like this exists, but I'm in no means in the need of going to a food bank. But I lost a revenue, just me personally, lost a revenue of $3,000 a month just because restaurants shut down.
That's
Something I
right.
do in the evening times, I don't do anymore because it's not offered anymore.
That's like me. They closed down my bars, and you know, I'm not in the bar business. It was a blessing in the long run, but you know, I mean, that was a mighty blow on St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah. So everybody, I don't care how much money you make, unless you're the uber wealthy, this pandemic's affected you monetarily.
Absolutely.
And so nobody should feel embarrassed. If you got a big mortgage and you got, because you had the money at the time, and you still need to pay those things to take care of your family, no shame in your game for having to go to a
Well, the other
food
thing
pantry and
is,
get some food.
you want to contribute to these people, and you can still go and benefit by contributing because they're growing. I'll give you those grow rates again. Going from 30,000 pounds and in 3 months go to 100,000 pounds and then go to 1 million pounds. And she just told you she's going to have 4 million pounds in February. That'll be 48 million pounds this year if she continues at that rate.
Here's something that you can do. If you're listening to this radio program and you are one of the people that are a little wealthy, got a little better paycheck than poverty level, but you're still finding it rough to make ends meet, instead of spending, you don't have the $1,000 a month for you and your family to eat on, you only have like 400 or something. Come to the food pantry, volunteer, take some food with them.
Get a 75-pound box of
Get
food.
a 75-pound box of food.
there you
Hey,
go.
And
maybe
contribute $10
some
to
of
them
exactly.
or $20 to them. And you know what?
If got
Every
$50,
dollar counts.
If you got $50 to give $50. That counts.
And one way
that's-
to help us also is we now have a yard sale the first weekend of every month, which is humongous.
Where's this yard sale at?
It's at our
Same
site,
location.
at the same location at 2000 Northeast 78th Street.
Ocala, Florida,
Ocala, Florida.
34479.
But if you go shopping for any cleaning supplies,
Now, and she says a yard sale. Yeah,
paper goods, anything, we get it for, I mean, it's all new stuff. We
all
have
current.
Yeah, all new stuff, all current stuff. We have regular yard sale stuff also, but there is
Did
a
you hear
ton
that? They
of
have toilet
things.
paper there. Did you hear that?
Yes.
They have toilet paper.
Cream,
than Dollar
toothpaste,
General.
toothbrushes.
Better
than
It's
Dollar
10
General.
times better than Dollar General.
Yeah,
I
10
mean,
times
it's
better than Dollar General.
and they've got that. That's literally right there existing.
We're up against a hard break. Thanks so much for coming in today. Give me your website one more time so if they want to get involved, they can go.
HisCompassionFlorida.org.
HisCompassionFlorida.org.
And we're on Facebook at His Compassion Florida also.
Adam Phillip, thanks to Ocala Magazine for putting us in contact with these people. This is a need that our community must get behind.
Absolutely.
And I appreciate everybody.
And you're going to
that's
be
in.
seeing it in the magazine, and we're going to be doing some serious fundraising for them.
You're listening to WOCA, The Source.